Welcome to the Energy InSites podcast, your source for the latest insights in deep retrofits, renewable energy, and energy conservation. And now let's get to today's insights. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Energy InSites podcast. With me today is Darby Essie from the Sioux Valley Dakota Nation. Welcome, Darby.
Hi there.
Thank you so much for joining us. You're a special guest today because you are a participant in the Energy InSites program, and you're running the Youth Energy Champion program for Sioux Valley Nation. Tell us a little bit about yourself and from your perspective, what are you guys doing within the program? How did you get to be involved with Energy InSites?
Well, my name is Darby Essie, like we already introduced myself. I am from Sioux Valley Dakota Nation, which is southwest of Manitoba. It's actually near the border of Saskatchewan. A bit about myself is that actually my first career wasn't being in the energy field. I was actually trained to become a chef. So for about 15 years plus, I've been in the kitchens. But the one thing that I've always noticed inside the kitchens is that I wasn't working with chefs. I was working with environmentalists because they very care about what happens with the soils, the airs, and everything, because that's where our food comes from. So when I actually left the kitchen and moved back to Sioux Valley, there was an opening for the environmental committee. So I applied to it and I actually got on board with it. And that's where I was able to use my chefing skills, I guess you could say, and help out with any type of natural foods that we're growing here in Sioux Valley. But then there was a position that opened up that would actually employ me and keep me floating with money, I guess you could say, yeah, a career. And that was actually an energy advocate position here in Sioux Valley. And I got encouraged just to, give it a shot. You never know what's going to happen. So I ended up applying for it and I ended up getting it. So when I got the position, I had no idea what to do. I'm not going to lie. So when that kind of happened there, I just kind of sat down and started thinking, what should I do? So that's when I started talking with the main funder who for that position, which was Efficiency Manitoba. And they were able to kind of guide me and help me out of what I should be doing, communicating with the community, going to the schools and showing renewable energies and other things that you're possible of saving inside the homes. From there, it led me to helping out the buildings here in Sioux Valley with just minor upgrades, for the program fitting for the Small Indigenous Business Program. Now, after that, we got introduced to another program, which was called the Geothermal Heat Pump Program. And we were able to select 25 homes here in Sioux Valley to be able to put the geothermal heat pumps inside of the homes. But what I was learning as I was going, because this is a brand new project, is retrofits are very important, because I didn't know that if there's leaks inside the homes, if you're trying to put renewable energies or anything inside the home, it's like water going into a Coke bottle with holes. It's just going to be wasted. So that's when I got introduced to retrofits. And I was able to join the housing department and able to learn about how home upgrades are, how things get fixed, how to inspect them to make sure that they're okay. Then from there, it was our last lands director who actually got me signed up with the SEER program, the SEER and Energy InSites with the Youth Energy Champions program. From there, that's when they said you're able to hire on 4 youths at any age, between the ages of 18 and 30 to be able to start them on the energy career type of path. To me, I didn't hesitate. I said, yes, let's do it, because I have a lot of work. And if I have more people who are helping me, that just puts more stress off of my shoulders. And that's what I really needed. So now that I've been kind of coaching, teaching, being a mentor to these 4 wonderful youth energy champions, or actually what we like to call them, the Fantastic Four, they were very, very attached and wanting to learn on everything that I've been doing. So we've ended up starting up multiple programs here in Sioux Valley, and also keeping the community updated with not just Facebook updates and social media. We actually went to communications and made commercials. We made radio commercials, YouTube videos, all the fun stuff that you could possibly do with the internet. Then
Oh,
from
wow.
there, we actually want to be able to do a community event where we go and update them everything. But that kind of put us on the hold for now, just because of some things that have been happening in the community. This is where tradition comes in. If there's a loss in the community and you have any type of plans of community get-togethers, you have to put it on hold. It's to respect the family. The funerals and all that type of stuff come first. So that's where we're actually able to continue to teach our traditions onto these youth who are coming into this program. For myself, I come from a very traditional family. So growing up, I had to learn it, or if I wasn't learning it, I was around it. So there's times where there's like, oh, why are we doing it this way? Why are we doing it that way? There's specific reasons, and then if you're sitting there with elders, they'll gladly teach you about it. But it's up to you to go up and kind of ask those type of questions.
Oh, that's great. Thanks for that background, Darby. And certainly sorry to hear about loss in the community. Um, it happens far too often, it seems, in too many communities. And it's certainly special to that they respect those traditions and take the time, because a lot in this fast-paced life, a lot of that stuff gets forgotten about, or missed, or is not given its proper due. So we appreciate you doing that. Um, you mentioned a couple of things there, and you've come a long way from humble beginnings as a chef to an environmental interest with your coworkers to an environmental role, and then now kind of running a whole team and being a mentor to others as you've learned and grown along the way. And one of the programs that is quite interesting is this heat pump program. Maybe tell us a little bit more about that, how that came about, and some of the ups and downs, and what those results are looking like today.
Already. So when it comes to the program, heat the heat geothermal heat pump project here in Sioux Valley, is that we first started off with trying to pick the homes here in Sioux Valley, and we actually had to do that list 3 times. Every time that I handed it in, there was certain concerns about other homes that I actually didn't know of. So that's where I had to learn. You got to communicate. You got to communicate with all different departments, even with the chief of council, just so you learn about these, because there's not a lot of people who will come out and talk about it. They're very prideful in their homes. So when we say, oh, we're going to come take a look at it, that's when they kind of get nervous. But it's not for a bad thing. It's just to see how's your home. Like, we got to make sure that you're living in a comfortable lifestyle. If
Mm-hmm.
we're not able to do that, then we're not doing our job here over. Well, that's when I was over at housing. So that's one of the things that I always keep in mind whenever we're trying to help out here in the community, is to find those ones who are not talking, find the ones that are really need them, especially when there's holes in the walls. That was very eye opening to me. Now, when we had those 25 houses picked, we actually got training in the geothermal heat pump program through the Law for Corporation, and the funders for it was actually officially Manitoba. They actually still do that and encourage communities to sign up for it. When you get into that program, you not just learn about how to install, you actually learn the computer side of it, how to do the modifications, what ducting work you need, going into the loop system. Not every loop system is the same, especially when it comes to soil types. That's what I
Mm.
learned here in Sioux Valley. We thought, we had black and sand, dirt mixture, it'll be okay. But as soon as we got Brent Lawfer out here, he was just like, oh no, this is gonna be a whole different calculation. Okay, this is perfect.
Mm.
I'll teach this. So we actually got some on-site teaching of seeing the different type of soil types, and also got to learn of if we had wells here in Sioux Valley, that information is still out there. So we were actually able to find that information to find out the homes that had wells in the areas of the geothermals to see what type of soil types they had.
You mean
No,
oil and gas wells
uh,
or water
water
wells?
wells, water
Water
wells.
wells?
Yeah, the
So the
ones that
geotechnical studies from those gave you a sense for what the geological substrata layers look like.
exactly, because there was some areas that had maybe 2 feet of black soil, and then the rest was sand. So that's where we had to figure out that point, and also the water table, because when we're digging for those wells, it gives you the right depth of how far you can dig in certain areas. Because we started digging in one area, and within 5 minutes, that hole was filled with water, and we're like, "What's going on?" And that's when we learned. We got those wells and wells information, I guess, and then once we said, "Oh, this area only has maybe up to 8 feet of that," got to cross that off the list and come up with a different plan for this home.
Right.
So
So some homes in the area have a high water table nearby. Some homes have a deep water table nearby, and you have to adjust your game plan accordingly.
exactly. And
And
luckily, we actually working with Brent Lawfer. He has installers over in Fisher River who had that same problem, but they ended up fixing it and finding out what to do. So we ended up hiring them to come out to Sioux Valley and teach us, just so we're not trying to learn. Don't change the wheel if it's already made. Just keep learn from them and let's keep going. So
right.
with working with Grant Lawfer's crew, it was very, very, very good. And then when it comes to the installs, uh, life happens. That's what I always put it as. Our installers who were originally supposed to be taking these contracts, uh, some of them not ended up showing up. Some of them would show up, but it would be like a day or two later.
Mm,
But that then wasn't fair for the crew who was showing up. So
mm,
what we ended up doing is taking a step back. Me and the old housing director, and we were kind of thinking of, okay, how can we make this work? We actually, by fate, we were standing outside, and the plumbing truck that is contracted in Sioux Valley had geothermal right on the side. And all he says, "Did you ever ask them?" I was like, "I never seen that until now." So it was like kind of one of
That's
those
good timing.
moments, yeah. So we asked him, "Is like, so you do geothermal installs?" We started talking about the machines that we have. That he hasn't worked with those machines before because where he gets his are actually from China. That's where his home country is. But he ended up finding out that through the MGEA, I could be wrong on the acronyms for that, that he actually needs to get heat pumps from here, from Manitoba. So
Mm,
we ended up working with him, with the Brent Lawfer group, because Brent Lawfer is tied with the Manitoba uh, Geo
Geo Exchange Association or Geo Energy?
Energy.
Geothermal energy?
Yes, and we were able to get him signed up with them. So now he actually keeps communications with them for any type of installs, not just in Sioux Valley, but say if we have farmers around Sioux Valley that are wanting to get geothermal inside their homes. Now, with the crew that was originally, the ones who were showing up, it wasn't the end for them. We actually teamed up with Six Star to get them hired on as plumbers also. So when there was
Great.
downtime for the geothermals, like for example, me having to do the paperwork and all that, there's guys who have lives and also families, so they have to think about their income that's coming in every month. So with them able to sign on with Six Star, they were able to keep full time positions and keep food and money on their table and be able to live more comfortable lifestyles, knowing that they have work every single day. Uh, I still see them every single day as I'm driving by them, and we give each other waves. And every time we see each other, it's just big old. Well, in Dakota, we say "how," that's high in Sioux Valley. But if you say it kind of from right down here, it's more of like you're giving heart to it, and that's what I feel every time they say it to me. So it's kind of one of those bittersweet moments where I'm helping. I'm helping change lives here in Sioux Valley, and I didn't even know that until like somebody pointed that out. I was kind of having a rough day. It was too much thinking. Things were coming in and out, and then somebody reminded me, "Look what you're doing. Look what you're doing in the community." You're doing
Yeah.
things that are good. Let's keep this up. It's like, you know what? Thank you. I forgot about that.
You sure are. And yeah, sometimes we get caught up in the day to day, and it's hard to take a step back and reflect and look at how far you've actually come in a relatively short period of time, how much of an impact you've had. I think Efficiency Manitoba deserves a good pat on the back here for developing some really great innovative programs. Some of the other companies and groups that you mentioned here, do you want to just give them a shout out, the ones that were involved in this contract?
Oh yes, I'd like to give a shout out to Brent Lawfer's, the Lawfer Corporation, and also Six Star Energy. Oh, Six Star Plumbing. Sorry, it's it's
And
very I'm very thankful for them, and also not just those companies, but Sioux Valley Housing Department.
housing
They're
department.
the ones who really got. As soon as I needed a team, they didn't hesitate. They say, "Come over to housing, and let's get going. Let's think about things. Let's work as a team on this." So I'm very appreciative of them too.
Fantastic. And was Raven involved in this?
Oh yes, Raven has been very involved in this. We actually this is the pilot project for them, and with doing these installs, they were able to learn from an actual community of how these would work and what's going to go wrong. So every second week, we would always have a biweekly meeting just to update on everything that is going on. And then whenever I had problems and we couldn't figure it out, they would actually have another team that would be able to help me out with questions that I don't know or they don't know. So
Hmm.
they've been a huge help, especially when it comes to the finance side. Uh,
Right.
when it comes to the finance side, they actually took the management of the money, and I'm very appreciative of that because when it comes to leadership changes here in the community, and they're not sure where this money is coming from, and all that, they might end up, spending it. And if they spend it, and I don't have that money to pay for people to get these contracts done, that's
Right.
when we end up, falling back and having to rethink in that. But Raven was the ones who had specific things that had to be done before they would transfer the money over, and it wasn't hard stuff. It's just like
Right.
making sure that you're keeping track of what's being purchased, what is going out the door for geo loops, and also the machines and that, and kind of keeping up to date of which homes are going to be installed that week or the upcoming week.
And this is Raven Indigenous Outcomes Fund, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Great. Yeah, they have a very innovative, socially minded, social impact investors, community driven outcomes contract, a CDOC as they call it. And so they would have, if I remember that deal structure correctly, they raise money from social impact investors, have a fund established. They partner with Efficiency Manitoba, who wants to purchase conservation upgrades, energy efficiency upgrades, as a way of doing good by the environment. And I think they trace back to Manitoba Hydro, and Manitoba Hydro is looking to promote energy conservation. Perhaps there's some element there of it being less expensive to save energy than it is to generate new energy, and so there's a real kind of incentive for big utilities to invest in the local community before they go and invest in a new generation project, for example. And your community kind of places itself in the middle of those two transactions or those two parties, and are the recipient. You're the host community essentially, and you get the benefit of these upgrades that are essentially, when the dust settles, free. Is that
Yes.
is that fair to say? And not only are they paid for, but you also get this job training and capacity building for community members, so that they can go on to establish new careers, and all while the homeowners are getting comfort upgrades, bill reductions on a monthly basis. How has some of the how of that has that played out for you in terms of some of the recipients of these heat pumps, these geo exchange ground source loop heat pumps?
Well, what when it comes to the people, the families or the people inside the homes, they were really appreciative of it. Especially like recently, this week we've had some really bad weather, and also it came with a lot of hot days. And with having those geothermals inside them, which gives cooling, they were really happy for it. Now, when it comes to the savings part of the geothermals, I have one specific home that I like to kind of flex on. It is his name. His name is Harold Blacksmith, and he is one of the elders here in Sioux Valley who actually has to travel for work over in Standing Buffalo, and that's about a 5 6 hour drive.
Wow.
And before the installs and all that happened, he was pretty much his paychecks would be going to gas, getting to the place, food and everything, and then get back and pay his bills. But then what would be left in his pocket is barely anything for him and his family and his children. Well, not children, grandchildren, his Tahashis. And oh, sorry, not Tahashis. That was, I know I'm mixing up some Dakota words right now. So
That's okay.
but when he didn't have that much money in his pocket, he was kind of feeling down of it. And once we put these geothermal installs into his home, uh, he came up to me and he said that I didn't know how much I was saving until I got a hydro bill and I was actually credited $500. And I was just like,
Wow.
really? He's like, yeah, because I'm so used to coming back from work, going to hydro, putting some money down, coming home, and just kind of leaving it as is because it's a routine to him. But as soon as he got that hydro bill that said credited $500, he had to tell me. And when he told me, he was so appreciative because now I don't even have to think of my hydro bill for months, and then I'm able to save money on going to work, and then when I come back, I have money for my family now. And when that happens, they're able to, go out for more dinners, be more together, creating that bond that needs to happen with families. Where if you're not able to do that, it separates and causes kind of, a depression state. So he was really happy for it. And actually, he gave me a hug, him and his wife. Yeah.
That's great.
And
That's so great.
when it comes to Dakota men, that's very rare. So that's what made me kind of go, whoa, thank you.
Men in general, it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
That's really wonderful to hear. Again, a big shout out to Raven Outcomes Fund and Efficiency Manitoba and Loeffler and Six Star and the Sioux Valley Housing Department. It took a lot of different groups to come together to get this contract put together and delivered on. And in the end, how many homes did you say?
We got 25 done here in Sioux Valley. And
25.
we reported it to the chief and council. All they said was, when can we do more? So it is going to be a continuing project here in Sioux Valley. Actually, we're aiming to get another 200 geothermal units, or if not, Raven is also working on newer technologies too. So not just ground source heat pumps, but also air to air heat pumps too, because some soil types or homes are too close together. So we're figuring it out as we go too, just so we can keep the homes uh, up to date and also keep those renovations going, the retrofits, just so everybody is living a good lifestyle.
Amazing. Well, and that's just one piece of all the stuff you guys have been doing.
Mhm.
So, and a very successful one. Now we take a step out and we look at the Youth Energy Champion program, and we have a number of youth that wanted to be with us today. We were having a few technical difficulties on the audio and the video. The internet's a little spotty in Sioux Valley today. There's been a lot of wild weather this week. Um, Tell us a little bit about the youth and what you guys have been up to under the Energy Insights program.
Alrighty. So when it comes to the four youth that we have, the Fantastic Four, uh, we actually been working with each other more than the contract as that they've been hired on for. They were actually started as the youth program through the high school. So every summer, we always try to give jobs to anybody who's in the right age for getting a job. So I've actually been working before this with for about 2 extra years. So I actually created that bond with them with going out and helping them out in the community with little things, because when it came to the lands department, energy first started here. So that's where they would always ask me, hey, do you have availability to come out? And that's when I was able to give rides in my truck, because that was the number one thing, was transporting them to places that they needed to go to learn and also do the job that they were hired for. So when they were in the truck with me, I kind of took it personal for me to kind of teach them our Dakota way of lifestyles and other questions that they had. So they ended up getting comfortable with me. So when it came to this job, the Energy Youth Champions program, they weren't hesitant. They just said, "Am I able to get on that?" I was just like, you know what? Let's go ask the director and let's see what happens. And they ended up, all four of them ended up getting hired on with the program. And with that, they were able to kind of see what I do. And when they seen that I'm helping out community and helping out with lifestyles, they got immediately like attracted to it, and they're like, "Hey, let's continue this. Let's keep going." And when that was actually it happened, I was able to bring more programs into Sioux Valley, because I already had a lot on my plate, and I didn't want to get that burnout. So when I had these extra four onto my team, we were able to go contact Officially Manitoba and get the program, like the kits
Small
from them,
business one or the direct install one?
the direct install one. So
Right.
when we're able to do that, that's when I was able to teach them how to communicate with homes, how to set up the days and when we're going to go see them, see what we need to put inside the homes, and then also assist with any type of installs that were happening inside of the home. Actually, they took it on themselves and they were YouTubing it before we even got to the home. So by the time I was like, oh, by doing this, oh no, Darby, I got it. Okay, I'm going to step back. I'm going to watch. And if you successfully do it, then I know you can do this for another 50 homes. So they're not just learning the energy stuff, but they're also learning how to install things in homes. So when they get their own home, they know how to do it. They know how to fix it. They know this. So they don't have to
That's great.
spend hundreds of dollars just to get somebody over to fix one little thing. So they're learning lifestyle skills too as they're working this position.
Well, after we're done this podcast, please do send me the links to those YouTube videos of the team working on that program, and I'll put it in the description of this video when we post it, so that people can see some of the work that the Youth Energy Champions have been doing. Like it merits another shout out to Efficiency Manitoba for another program that's been successful, the direct install program and the Indigenous Small Business program, both targeting kind of different segments of the market. The direct install program targeting residential upgrades, and the small business program targeting kind of small commercial up to about 15,000 square foot buildings. On the direct install program, tell us about that. It comes in a shipping pallet loaded with stuff, and then there's certain goodies for each house.
Yes. So actually, we get a form that gives us the details of what's going to be installed inside of the home. So there's information for that we have to gather, like the hydrometer number, get the names of who's the head of the household, I guess you could say, the one who put their name on the tenancy agreement. Then we go and take a look around the home to see how many light bulbs there need. There's actually a number on there that you can put. It's 10 plus and 10 under. To putting up low flow shower heads and all that type of. I don't have the list on me right now, but the smaller things that you could change inside the home that makes a big difference.
Yeah, the aerators, the low flow aerators, low flow faucet, shower heads. Does it have the little thing that goes in the toilet tank to
Yes, it
reduce
does.
to the little bladder that you fill up, and then it lowers the amount of liters per flush and that kind of stuff?
Yes. Actually,
Yeah.
we were quite curious about that because I was learning at that too. I was just like, what is this? And we ended up Googling it, then kind of asking the question for towards the Fishy Manitoba, which was Art Lad. I give a big shout out to him too because anytime I
Mm-hmm.
had any type of questions, I just email him or personally message him. Either way, he'll get back to me and he'll help me. He helps me out as much as he can. And if he can't, he'll point me to the right direction of who to ask and get the right information from.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Art's been great to deal with. Um, you also recently had a visit from Paul Chateau from the Leap Group, and you've met him a couple of times now. So tell us a little bit about your interactions with Leap and with Paul, and what the group has been doing for the community as part of the Energy Insights program.
Oh, it's been great working with Paul. Every time I see him, I always get excited. I get happy. He gives that energy of just he wants to work, but also at the same time, let's have some fun. So whenever we're going to these buildings and that, we're cracking jokes and we're just kind of getting especially the youth, comfortable with the type of stuff that they're learning. So what we've been doing here in the community is actually doing an app where we're able to do energy audits in buildings. And so we originally started off with 7 buildings because those are the ones that I couldn't do through the Efficient Manitoba program, the small Aboriginal business program. Uh, so we picked the ones that weren't picked. But then we got so good at it, actually, it got to the point of why don't we do more buildings? So now when he last time he came out, we actually picked it out another 4 buildings that I got completed, but we didn't see the other things that when I was there. So that's when we're able to use a thermal camera to see behind walls or to check out the roof or even a thermal drone. A drone can do a fly around and just see what type of leaks are coming out. And actually, we were able to help out Sioux Valley with their school because they ended up covering these skylights. And all they did was put a plyboard, and I was able to show them that is not good because look how much thermal red is showing on it, and that means that heat is escaping. So we're able
Hmm.
to show that to the school, and actually they were really impressed because they they got to see the youth who just left high school and seeing what they're learning. And when they were able to see that, they were like, "Wow, how can we get you into the school so you can start teaching the older ones like the grades from 10 and up this type of stuff." And actually we're going to be this summer working with this high school and the elementary school to put a curriculum together so we get in there for maybe 1 or 2 times not it'll be like a week long type of things that where we go in there and try to teach these little things that we're doing and also the renewable energies and all the other stuff that they're curious of.
Fantastic. That's great. Well, Darby, I really appreciate you taking some time today to share your experiences with LEAP, with SEER, with Efficiency Manitoba, the Energy Insights program. It's really inspiring to hear of the successes and how far you have come and the Youth Energy Champions have come, and how much more you've already got planned, really going above and beyond kind of anyone's initial expectations for this program. And I certainly hope we'll get to continue this. And I think what we should do is have you back in another couple of months to give us an update on how much further you've gone since.
Oh yes, I agree with that. And you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So there could be other things that could be added onto it. So I would gladly love to come back on and give updates and what we're doing here in Sioux Valley.
Thank you, Darby Essie. You've been a wonderful guest today. And with that, we'll say goodbye and till next time.
All right, bye.